let's take a look at line item budgeting. The first actions for budget reform were taken at the local level as part of a larger movement from general reform of local government. By the mid 1920s, most major American cities had adopted some form of a budgeting system, in most cases strengthening the chief executive's budgetary role. At the state level, a strong movement for reform was underway between 1910 and 1920, centering on making the executive accountable by first giving them the authority over the executive branch. By 1920, budget reform had occurred to some extent in 44 of the then 48 states, and by 1929, all states had centralized budget offices. Throughout this same period, action was also being taken at the national level, triggered by President William Howard Taft, who had established a commission on economy and efficiency. This generated a report which recommended a budgetary process be instituted under the direction of the president, a proposal greeted with considerable skepticism by those who feared any such grant of authority to the chief executive. The critical purpose in all these developments was to control expenditures, with an emphasis on accounting for money spent in public programs. Line item budgeting was the first modern budget concept to gain acceptance, and it remained the predominant approach to budgeting throughout the 1930s. In this period, budgets were constructed on a line item or object of expenditure basis, indicating very specific terms in terms of the services purchased and their cost. The emphasis was on control with detailed itemization of expenses, centralized supervision of purchasing and hiring practices, and close monitoring of agency spending. The focus was on how much each agency acquired and spent, with an eye to completeness and honesty in fiscal accounting.